Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the Core Racing Network. Tonight, we head to the penultimate round in the regular season, and we are at the beautiful Rockingham Speedway, and this thing is is not for the faint of heart. It's going to be really tough on these drivers here tonight. It is part of the gauntlet here, coming down to the last couple here. We got this week and next week at Talladega before we finalize our playoff standings and get ready for some playoff action. But tonight here at the Rock, it is bumpy, it is rough, it is some tight quarters as well. I mean, you can definitely fit two and technically three wide here, but realistically, sometimes this thing feels like it can only handle one car wide, if then, and it's kind of a little bit of a mix between Darlington and maybe Phoenix, just, you know, in regards to the shape, but it is unlike any other, and it is it's not the newly paved Rockingham like the NASCAR schedule just went to this week in real life. This is the old, scanned, rough surface that these drivers are going to have to tackle here tonight. Carl and we're joined in the booth by Jimmy Covert. Jimmy, to quote the late Sean Connery, welcome to the Rock.
Right? Yeah, I don't know what they built this thing on, but it is it's rocky, it's bumpy, it's treacherous, it's got pretty high banking, it's fairly quick. It's going to be an interesting one here, I think, here tonight. I think people, they might get comfortable, and maybe we could catch a wrong bump and send them up into the wall. Let's hope for not a repeat of a bad race, but we will keep things going here live, and of course, and keep you all entertained here tonight as they take on, what are we at, 110 laps here at the Rock.
Last week we had quite a thriller, and got to see the fan favorite Kevin Foster step into victory circle for the first time in a long time, and I didn't realize how long it was until we started digging back through the records here. It was his first win in the Xfinity Series in over a year. Last win in the Xfinity Series came at Worldwide Technology Gateway Speedway on February 20th of 2024. Last year, his last official core victory came in the Premier Series back on June 9th of last year. So no wins since last June in any series. That's not just, in these top series, in any series in core. So it's been a long time coming, and he was certainly happy to get back in the victory lane. But the main thing that it did is it jumped him right above that cut line, as you see there in the gold division. So now AJ Roderick and Kevin Foster locked into the playoffs in the gold. We still have the same five in the platinum division. They are locked in. But, I mean, you take a look at it, it's coming down to the wire a little bit in the silver division. Aiden Hines still has a chance to get his way back up there with a couple good races here. Luis Arduna, Dalton Drummond's a pretty big mountain to climb to try and get in there. Still mathematically in, but in the mix, but really not that good of a chance. But I mean, a win gets you in if you have a perfect record. If you've gone through and run at least 12 of these regular season races, the gold division, you see a lot of drivers still in the mix there. So we'll see how this thing plays out. But certainly, putting everything on its head, this last time out, and putting Kevin up there, but. We are ready for some racing action here tonight. 110 laps on the board for tonight. There's technically 31 drivers out there, but that's only because me and Jimmy had to register in here. I promise we're not going to be in the field. But, Jimmy, why don't you give us a rundown of the starting order? And let me just throw it out there. I have qualified you.
What? Not even a chance that would ever happen. No, but entries here for tonight, obviously a few of the drivers out here, but Tommy Ryan will take the pole here tonight over Justin Munsell. And then a newcomer, JP Phillips, not new to use, or not new to CRN, but new to here at Core. Shane Therian there in fourth, Tyler Scozen in fifth, Alan Elwood sitting in sixth, Clayton Montgomery in seventh, Matt Crockett's in eighth, Tyler Brambles in ninth, Dan Phelps in 10th, Jeff Ryan with another good qualifying run here in 11th, John Nobinger in 12th, Josh Van Westen in 13th, Blake Erickson in 14th, Jeremy Gainey in 15th, Joey Cruz in 16th, Bronson Stafford in 17th, Luis Arduna in 18th, Kevin Foster, last week's winner, all the way back in 19th, John Crane in 20th, James Scioli back there in 21st, Nico Garcia in 22nd, Jack Stoneman, Joseph Sullivan, Davey Hendricks, the bum Carl Handwerk, Joseph Thomas, Robert, the awesome Jimmy Covert, Tater Bowman, and Dalen Drummond. So yeah, 31 cars, but me and Carl are up here in the booth. I don't know what's going on with iRacing. Supposedly when they did their update, they forgot something.
Yeah, something got messed up. I promise this time is actually not on us. If there's any kind of weird things happening here tonight, we apologize. But we certainly all the kind of peripherals that we run on in the background all had updates here to get everything squared away before we even got in here. So we'll see everything plays out here tonight. But we do got a good sized field out here as usual. 29 cars in the field. It looks like Tommy Ryan not out there. Jimmy, our pole sitter, is not out in the field. Not sure if he missed the grid or if iRacing's really not being nice to him, but we're going to get this thing underway, and technically JP Phillips going to go ahead and slide right up to that #1 spot right now. He's going to be alongside Justin Munsell for the start of this thing again. Playoffs looming on the very near future here. If a driver has by the end of next week at least 12 races run, a win will get them in. So we'll see how this thing plays out. So I mean, these point standings are certainly nowhere close to being decided yet for 3 of the divisions, but we are ready for some racing action, and that's exactly what we got. Green flag here at the Rock. We are racing in the Core Xfinity Series presented by Elwood Designs. Oh, a bit of a bumper ready there. Shane Therian getting shot up the track, and man, already some cruising and bumping, and we may already have, yep, we do have a couple incidents, and not even going to make it to turn 3. We got a few cars mixed up in this one. I know I did see the 85 of Dan Phelps go sliding down there, but let's take a look and see if we can catch all the action here. I'll rewind it back here a little bit. See what happened.
Right. The 85 hit the wall first. Yeah,
it looks like came off the wall a little bit. Got into the side of Jeff Ryan, maybe a little help from John Nominger behind. And then John Nominger just nowhere to go on that one. But then I think there was another incident, yeah, right in front there. You see looks like the 28, and not sure if that was Kevin Foster possibly getting involved in that one right there. Oh, no, right there's Kevin Foster coming into the picture.
Yeah.
Hard impact right there. As James Scioli also nowhere to go. And then the 40 of Dalton Drummond gets into the back as well. So quite a few cars mixed up and mangled up on this one. It's going to set us under our first caution.
And Tommy just came out of the pits.
So well, he's back in the mix. At least he's got that going for him. But
I just happened to, I was like, "What? Tommy's had an incident. He wasn't on the track." He started getting going, and the caution flew.
Perfect timing. It's certainly. I don't know about your side if you got anything working here, but I know the running order here, the standings, definitely is a little bit jacked up. It's kind of going back and forth here, so I'm not sure if all the bugs have been worked out. We'll try and keep you as accurate and updated as possible.
All right, right now, currently running, you got Justin Munsell, JP Phillips, Alan Elwood for your top 3. Then Tyler Scozen, Clayton Montgomery, Shane Therian, Tyler Bramble, Matt Crockett, Jeff Ryan, Joey Cruz, Bronson Stafford, John Crane, Nico Garcia, Blake Erickson, Jeremy Gainey, Robert Kenny, Jack Stoneman, Joe Sullivan, Tater Bowman, Davey Hendricks, Joseph Thomas, Josh Van Weston, Kevin Foster, Dalen Drummond, Tommy Ryan, Luce Orduna, James Scioli, Dan Phelps, John Nominger.
Yeah, it's definitely. I think it's something messed up either on your side, my side, both sides. I don't know. Either way. Yeah, because I have John Crane back in 18th right now. So either way, we'll get this thing underway, and you can see on the screen it is Justin Munsell on the front row here with the 20 of JP Phillips. So hopefully get this thing back underway. And I mean, I didn't even get a chance to say how much of a just rough exit turn number 2 is. It's definitely going to be a talking point here tonight. It is so tough to get out of that corner. It's kind of just like Darlington, coming out of turn number 2, you really kind of have to, angle off the wall, or you have to be really prepared to get off of that corner correctly, or it's going to be bumpy, it's going to throw you up into the wall, it's going to be just a complete mess. Turn number 4 is not exactly easy either, but let's go ahead and get this thing back underway. Green flag here once again at the Rock, and let's take a look at these cars heading down into turn number 1, and we're already going to have some cars going through the grass, but it's off the racing line, so it looks like we're going to stay green. Heading down the backstretch, Justin Munsell in the lead. Takes him into turn 3.
Yeah, it was the 73 others are doing on John Crane in the back on the start there. At 20 and JP Phillips on the high side there, going to keep things going right there and fall into second place over Alan Elwood up front, and then it's going to be looks like Thomas Goes and Clayton Montgomery for your top 5.
Now this is a track where you can definitely run 2 different lanes, and you see right there Jeff Ryan up at the top. You can definitely run that high line and get some really good runs off of the corner, as looks like we got 2 number 34s out there. Just to let you know right there, the one you're looking at the screen, the Mountain Dew number 34, that is Jeff Ryan, and then the one in front, that's the 034 Rock Auto of Robert Kenny. But, I mean, you can get some good runs off of each of the corners, running that high line. You can make some passes as well, because it's typically going to be a bottom-feeding type of track here tonight. But it's all about tire management, just like it usually always is. And these bumps and bruises from the track here are going to upset the car. It's going to make it slide a little bit more than it typically does. It's so tough to keep the car underneath you. But right now, Justin Munsell doing a very good job out here in the lead. You got JP Phillips right behind him, Alan Elwood, Tyler Scosen, Clayton Montgomery for the top 5, Shane Therian, Tyler Bramble, Matt Crockett, and Nico Garcia, and Joey Cruz for your top 10.
SDK is still loading up for me. Still downloading. I didn't know they did a big old update. It was up to Carl finally let me know what was going on, but using some high overload backup here to kind of fill myself in with what's kind of going on here. But yeah, drivers are doing a pretty decent job out here so far. Just kind of looking back to the field, got a pretty good battle going on back there between the 70, trying to make his way up past the 89. We do have one meatball fight from Jam Phelps.
He was involved in that early incident, maybe not having the fast repair check, because he is already 8 laps down, and it can happen that quickly. You don't want to have that fast repair check right away, because you don't want to accidentally take it. But when you get in a wreck right away and you forget to check it and you tow back to the pits, it's a long night. It very well could be the end of your night that quickly. But Cioli back up here trying to run up through the field. Certainly the early caution shook things up quite a bit. Robert Kenny is one of your biggest movers of the race here, up 15 spots, up to 13th. Maybe Hendricks right behind him. He's up 11 spots, getting into the wall right there. Taylor Bowman right behind you. See him back out here. He's up 15 spots, as is the 40 right behind him, Dalton Drummond. He's also up 15 spots. They're 15th and 16th. Up a little further into the top 10 is Nico Garcia, up 12 spots after starting back there in 22nd. But in the lead, it is still Justin Munsell holding off JP Phillips. With Phillips, you see him utilizing that high line, not just diving into the high line, almost kind of diamonding the corner and maybe just trying to keep those tires underneath him as much as possible.
Yeah, somebody that obviously didn't get the start in the pole, but he's all the way back in P19, Tommy Ryan. So he has to work his way through traffic, and it's obviously a long feat here. Obviously 110 laps. We're going to fly by here pretty quick on lap 14, but he's got a long way to go through only a rough track, and so definitely going to have to use multiple lines as he has to work his way around the field here. As obviously each driver has their own skill level and own lines they prefer. But Tommy Ryan kind of using, I've seen him use the inside, the outside. Taylor Bowman's going to go around. He gets in, but they get sucked. They keep going straight there as he gets saved, I guess, by Jack Stoneman.
Great job on the save right there. We'll take a look at it here one more time. as he got together. It looked like Jack Stoneman getting into the side of him, going off there, but great save by both of them. They keep it going straight, and Tommy Ryan just says, thank you very much. I'll just go ahead and take those positions while you guys tussle it out.
Yeah, I mean, just look like Taylor was just a little bit off pace, just a little bit, maybe trying to save tires just a little bit, not trying to be too aggressive. I was talking with Taylor earlier this week, and I don't know if it was the Rock that he ran. He was like running officials and actually got a win here. I think it was the Rock, so I was feeling pretty good. Just looking forward to getting out there around with the boys here tonight. So Taylor's finally knocking out the dust to get back out here. Obviously, he's been around a very long time with iRacing, so just trying to get his feet right again and get back in it. So it's kind of, it's amazing how much you kind of like lose after you're not out in the car for quite some time. Taylor's been, I think, about 2-year break. So it'll take a little while to knock out the dust, but it does go away just a little bit to get the feel with all the changes that iRacing keeps you doing to the same.
Well, it's a little easier to turn laps when a tree's not on your house also. I mean, that certainly that certainly it plays a big factor in it, and that's one of the factors.
I can't believe that. It took, I was talking about, Taylor's a good friend of mine. He said it took like a year between all like the insurance company and back and forth. I'm like, really?
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me. I'm sure there was a ton of loopholes. He had a dig through there as Scioli digging on the inside here of Robert Kenny, trying to move himself up another position up into the top 14 here as this is 14th and 15th and doing battle. You can see, again, you can race side by side, and I think everyone understands how rough and just rigid this track can be, and how quickly it can end your night. And I think maybe a little bit of patience shown by some of these drivers. They're not getting a little bit, they're not choking each other down towards the bottom. They're not, really riding that high line too much. They're just kind of letting the race come down, because it is 110 laps here as a 34 Jeff Ryan goes down to the bottom there and saving it. A good job saving it as he gets back up there. Davey Hendricks in the 00. Scioli going to the high side here in the 70, working his way up there, trying to get himself up in the top 10, but still, close to 90 laps left in this race. A lot of racing left to go, and we'll see how these pit stops work here, because this is not a fun pit stall to get into. And are we going to see another save here? We will. About 16 different saves there from the 10. New paint scheme there on the 10 of Crockett, but you see those tires were not exactly ready to get the power back on there, as they were a little hot and angry, but a great save there by Crockett, and they'll get it back going. Certainly going to lose a ton of positions there as he was battling just outside the top 10. Now all the way back to 24th that quickly.
Yeah, talking about drivers not wasting any time. JP Phillips out front, not far over Justin Munsell, but they're checking out. They're got a nice size lead over Alan Elwood, back to about 2.8 seconds, almost 3 seconds out. The 20 and the 98, just kind of just rolling.
Yeah, did not see when JP Phillips took the lead, trying to get it back here. To have to show you guys when he got past the 98 of Justin Munsell, but Munsell certainly would love to get a good run here tonight for the points and have a chance at grabbing a win here tonight. Get himself locked in there and get himself some bonus points as well, and that's kind of a big thing. I mean, we looked at the standings before, and you got Alan Elwood obviously coming into the playoffs at this point with a nice little buffer, having already 4 wins on the season. Every win that you have as a playoff driver in the regular season will get you 5 bonus points to start the playoffs. So that is a nice little buffer there, having 20 points to carry over. But everybody else in the Platinum has at least 1 win as well. So technically only 15 points better than everybody else heading in. But nonetheless, a win is certainly very nice to have in the belts. Take a look now as this was the pass for the lead, and JP Phillips just utilizing that high line. So he gets a massive run off of turn number 4, dives it down low, and easy as you like it. He was ready to pull a little slide job there, but Munsell backed off, gave him the position, and they are running 1-2, and like Jimmy said, they are checking out for over a 3-second difference between first and second, back to third, as third place right now is Alan Elwood, running right in front of his teammate Shane Theory, and Clayton Montgomery now moved himself up in the top 5. Skosen, Bramble, Garcia, Stafford, and Scioli for your top 10. Robert Kenny, biggest mover of the races. He's doing battle right now with Tommy Ryan, as they're just outside the top 10 in 11th and 12th.
Yeah, it's Tommy's not going to look like the biggest mover, but he started from the pit.
Yes, exactly. You're right.
The pole, but started from the pit. So that's 66, obviously making his way up to the field, trying to make short, get up there quickly, as obviously he's used to running a little bit longer races, probably another 50 laps added on to hours or so, because they just the league that they were in, they used to run full tanks of fuel. Man, it seemed like forever when they're out there on a full tank, and just to keep running consistent laps. So I think it's a little bit of driving, obviously a little bit of different driving style. You could be a little more aggressive, I think, because the tires, especially if you're going to take tires when you come in, more than likely if you're out there for the full tank load.
Oh, simultaneously, Stafford into the wall. We watched Nobinger right there in the wall as well. Blown motor. I'm sorry, not Stafford. Ericsson was the one that got spun into the wall, and that was simultaneously coming off. It's almost like there was a little oil leak coming out of turn number 2. And both of them hit it, got up into the wall. We'll take a look at it here one more time. Onto the backstretch. And not so much into the wall. That was actually Jeff Ryan getting into the back of Ericsson, sends him sideways, and at the same time, right here, I think this was Nobinger getting into the wall, and that's what sent him down here. We'll take a look here. Maybe he got a little help and thought he was clear of Cruz coming out of the corner, and as of right now, he was clear. Slides up, and then just a little bit of a bump, and that was enough right there.
That bump.
Now, I think he got a little help from Cruz right there. Shot him into the wall, and then down to the inside wall hard. Somehow Arduna gets on by that thing. That was certainly pretty close right there for Arduna, but that's going to give a nice, easy yellow flag pit stop to everyone out there. And we don't have AJ Roderick in the field here tonight, but we know he's looking out here. I'm sure he's out there watching on CRN and loving this yellow flag pit stop, as you don't have to worry about getting in here under green.
I was looking closely at, I'm detached from Carl here tonight, but just kind of looking at that contact between with Nobinger. It just looks weird. I mean, I think it was net code.
Oh, could have been.
There's no damage on the bumper or nothing. I think the net code kind of took over and kind of, I don't know, when the car kind of hit that bump, it just jacked it up and just sent it around. I don't know. That was an odd one.
Well, Bronson Stafford is shown as your race leader, as he either took no tires or 2 tires, and it looks like he's going to take the high side here on the restart. Gives JP Phillips the inside here. But the 61, we talked about him being involved in the incident. No, it's the exact opposite. He's at the front of the field right now. So Stafford will be a control car here for the restart on lap number 35, as already about a third of the way through this race. Stafford, Phillips, Therian, Munsell, Elwood for your top 5. Then you got Montgomery, Skosen, Bramble, Sullivan, and Scioli for the top 10. And a lot of drivers up there in that top 10 have got wins, but there's a lot that would love to get a win here tonight and lock themselves in. But right now, all eyes on that 61 as the pace car will pull in. We'll get this thing back under green flag racing. A nice little green flag run there for the boys here. Hopefully they can do it and then some here on this restart. Green flag in the air. We're racing again here at the Rock.
The 20 got a little bit of slower start, but
Munson give him a little shove. Yeah.
Munson holding and give him a nice little shove. A nice single file start, not too bad, but shoves him right out to the front as the 61 gets left behind. Now Alan Elwood tucked up underneath Justin Munson, trying to keep himself going as well. Oh no, Tyler Brown going around.
Trying to get to him. His name kept dropping down there, but off the racing line. And again, it looks like we're gonna stay green. As right there, oh, slides right across the front of he's off Scioli, and yeah, we are gonna stay green here as we get you back live and show you the front here as JP Phillips, your leader, Mutzel, and Elwood right behind, so not a 3-second gap like it was before. Tyler Scosa moving himself up into 4th place. Right behind him is Therian for the top 5. All running kind of different lines going through these corners, but yeah, the front stretch, I mean, it's right in front of Barney, but he's just being lazy tonight, apparently. Maybe we didn't pay him enough. Not sure what the case is. Maybe he forgot his yellow flag. I don't know what the case is, but it's happening right in front. Meh, he's in the grass. He's okay.
It's fine, little Bruce. Speaking of the caution, what it has done for our pole sitter, it's now Tommy Ryan up in P number 7, making his way up from the front. I mean, a little bit of luck, I guess, coming out of the pits probably would have been a lap down or almost a lap down. To being able to make a couple spots, and now we're fighting something P number 7. So things going out here decently right now. Alan Elwood looking for the pass on JP Phillips. JP Phillips on the outside, Alan Elwood in the inside. So 2 different lines being utilized here right now. Now JP, I think, is just gonna let him go. If Alan can make it, he'll give it to him. Obviously, he's just gonna keep running this line. So Alan's gonna have to work that bottom line until he gets clear.
Yeah, what that does is, I mean, you know, JP is running the longer line around this track. Obviously, for sure, maybe he's running 1.2 miles instead of the 1 mile, but he's also saving his tires a lot more and forcing Elwood to go down around the bottom without being able to track up to the wall on the exit. That's what kills your tires. Going through the middle of the corner, you're fine. And even, you know, entering the corner down to the bottom, that's not what does it. It's when you're getting back on that gas, your car is going to want to track out to the outside. And when there's a car out there, you can. You can. I guess you can. You can do anything once. But
you can do anything once.
But if you don't want to wreck, you got to keep it down there on the bottom. But you also want to keep that speed up, and that's where you're scrubbing those tires. And that's where you can really damage the fronts, if not at least the front right, and it makes that pass so much more difficult. But that's what JP Phillips' designs are here. He's liking this outside line right now. It's worked for him to get to the lead. It's working for him right now in the lead, but you see Elwood now trying to venture up a little bit, trying to, you know, kind of mini diamond at the corner to try and get a good run, but he's going to fall right back in line.
Yeah, he's got to be careful because obviously Mutzel there looking at chops, you know, trying to get them to, you know, obviously something maybe to happen, but these 2 up here battling like this, obviously 2 premier.
Like a little bit of contact. Oh, yeah, it looked like Netco. It looked like a pretty decent amount of room in between the 2 cars.
Yeah.
But that will get the pass done here as now Elwood into the lead, and now Munso looking to capitalize on some maybe angry tires on the 20. So the 98 is going to go to the inside and try and take over second, but looks like JP Phillips already has that car back under control, and he will remain in second place. Therian goes around out the top 5. Montgomery, Scioli, Tommy Ryan, Jack Stoneman, and Joey Cruz for your top 10 as Scioli has made the pass on Tommy Ryan. We'll take a look right here as this is quite a big one here for Scioli. He's made it through a lot of the pack here, but this is not exactly a pushover here as he's getting towards the front of this field now. But easy as you like, I think Tommy just playing the long game right now and letting some of these drivers go on by and hoping this thing stays green for a while. But you see Skos in there diving to the inside of the lap car. The 11 of John Crane stays up and out of the way. But another one that's looking for yet another good run here is Skos. He had his potential chance early on in the year to maybe just about lock himself in with a win at Texas before his computer just decided to throw the digital middle finger up at him and take the win away. Yeah, exactly.
Do the virtual motor, you took the oil pan with the blew or whatever. Losing the internet connection is probably the worst thing ever when you're having a good run, or possibly, and having a run so good that the win could have been in, but not it. Obviously, with the Skozen, taking a break though, with his being involved in the college races, you might not have had the attendance, bro.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, both of these guys leaving for the college series, and apparently no love lost right here as Scioli and Skozen going at it here as Skozen pulled a bit of a switchback there, a little switcheroo, and crossover to get back underneath the 70, and now Scioli's going to send it on the high side. He wants to get this pass down and get it done quickly so he can start working on the rest of the top 5, but Skozen not making it easy at all.
Skozen's going to battle. I know they're together quite often, so obviously know what each other is capable of doing, and running side by side here is not unfamiliar sight from these two. And the thing is just, sometimes iRacing throws that curveball in there, Carl, whether it's, it's the self-imposed, excitement or what, but netcode sometimes just reaches out and bites you.
Yeah, most of the time it sucks. It just plain sucks, and we've seen it a couple times here, and it's really there's some tracks that just like off tracks at some tracks are just worse than others, and they're a little bit more. I don't know if it's I don't want to say old, because there's some new tracks that you deal with some netcode issues here as well. This one here with Rockingham, it's maybe getting a little bit longer in the tooth here, and maybe that's why you see a little bit of netcode here. But I would assume that with NASCAR already going back there this past weekend, they got the it's freshly paved. It's a nice new track, and this track right here is got enough banking that with some fresh pave and a smoother surface, it's gonna end up being a rocket ship. Guessing quite a save here at the front.
Yeah.
Try and take a look here and catch it on the screen here as Phillips getting close to Ericsson, and Munsell was on the inside, didn't see him, almost catches Therian on the backstretch. Heck of a save there from the 20 to keep himself up there in 4th place, and we'll take it back live, and you see as Ericsson having some issues in front, he's going to drop down to the bottom. Try and stay out of the way here, drifts up a bit here, but out front it is the 5 of Alan Elwood looking for win number 5 here tonight. We're already at the halfway point this time by, so should be looking at maybe another round of pit stops here in the next maybe 10 laps or so. We'll see how everything plays out.
Kevin. Kevin playing bumper cars with the wall here at the Rock is not a good thing that you want to do here. Obviously, it's bumpy enough, and the stop in the wall is not going to help that car at all. So Kevin not having a fun time here tonight back there in
back there in 22nd right now, unfortunately, and 1 lap down now. So it's going to be a long road for him if he's going to try and go back-to-back here tonight. He was looking forward to Rockingham. He knows a rougher track, and it's really a driver's track. You need to be able to feel every little bump that your car is going through, because one little bump, it can make the car push. The next little bump can make the back end want to step out. You got to be ready for anything and everything, and it really takes a driver to get around this track.
Yeah, it does. Obviously you want to try to do the best you can. There's so many good drivers out there right now. There's so many of these drivers can win right now. Like your top 10 easy, anybody. Heck, all the way back in the 12th. I mean, there's so many drivers now and in this league that could win. Obviously, you see them up front each week. We talk about almost all of them constantly. making their way through. We've seen saves. They, obviously put some, make people lose some spots on track, but being a driver and having the ability to be able to save the car and keep it going. As they send it 3 wide, there's Joe Sullivan on the outside there, probably not loving life there. Maybe tires starting to go on that 76. Oh, there's Joe.
That's right,
Back in 21st.
Back through here. Yeah, back in 21st. And another driver that had not a career night last week, but certainly a well-deserved top 3. And I'll show you why Elwood is down on the bottom. This is coming out of turn number 4. Into the wall, down into the grass for your leader. Took a nice little trip through the grass. Good save. He gets it back going and back on the track, but went from first back to 8th place that quickly. At one little mistake right there, and that's what this track could do. I mean, it's ready to claim its victims at any moment. You make one little mistake, and again, like I said, you have to be ready. I mean, you could run the same line, the same speed, lap after lap, and one time the bump is going to get you, the next time it's not going to. One time it's going to get you loose, the next time it's going to get you tight. It's such a fickle mistress here. I mean, I know a lot of drivers either love or hate Darlington, but so that's why I look at this track kind of like a Darlington, because there's very, very little room for error. Meanwhile, at Darlington you have maybe 2 lines of racing. Here you could fit 3 cars, but it really only feels like it's Darlington, like it's one groove, maybe 2 if you like one of the higher line. But you make one little mistake and that wall is going to get you.
It's still just knowing the bump and the way the car reacts at a certain speed, and you throw in a little bit of neck code and you got yourself a recipe for some gambling. So, but these drivers are doing a pretty decent job right now, a pretty decent long green flag run, and hopefully they're able to make some pit stops here. But who's going to make that gamble and come in and make that pit stop here under green first? Because obviously being a 1-mile track, more likely you're going to go lap down, and it could be tough here. But Montgomery looking to the underside of the 61 there, and Tommy Ryan trying to follow as well as JP Phillips.
About 3 wide, and we said there's 3 lines out here, but right there, the 61 gets squeezed up into the wall, and Tommy Ryan gets by both here as he moved himself up past Clayton Montgomery into the top 5 now. First time, since qualifying, he's been up there in the top 5. Obviously, he was your pole sitter tonight, but for some reason started from the pits, whether that was by design or not. But Montgomery, from caution to the wind as he throws his car up into the wall in 1 and 2, trying to keep that position on Ryan, but the 66 going to complete the pass, and it's getting a little busy behind him. How about almost 3 wide again as JP Phillips to the inside of Montgomery. But we have a crash, and we have got a caution on the backstretch.
Oh, what are they going to do? Well, lap 67, 110.
It's definitely going to be pit road getting busy here very soon, as this was between Davey Hendricks and Joey Cruz, as Cruz catches the wall and then catches Hendricks.
Set the tires. So you think people are thinking tires?
I mean, it looks like a lot took tires on that first stop, so we'll see who's got anything in the bank here.
Who's taking tires? Who's taking tires? Who's waiting to those lap race or last stop heroics for another caution to possibly fly?
Unfortunately, you talked about pit stops and who's going to go in. Kevin Foster just in pit lane on lap 64. So that is going to put him now down 3 laps and kind of stuck there. So that was kind of worst timing there for Foster, as much as it was best timing for him last week. But let's take a look at the front here, and it's Justin Munsell going to be bringing the field down to pit lane.
61 staying out.
Yeah, it looks like 61 to 8 is going to stay out. They're going to get a wave around here to get a lap back for sure, but Keep an eye on pit lane, see who wins the battle off pit road here as Munsell started second place here tonight. With your leader coming into the pits here, so he's got a clear shot to get out of here, but you see Tommy Ryan coming into the pits there as well. And this is one where you see, where they're pitting there, they're kind of angled over there. And
it
looks like
Tommy out.
Darian's certainly taking a short pit.
Munsell.
Tommy Ryan taking a short pit, but Munsell looks like he took 4 tires there. So our first one taking 4 tires, but Joey Cruz, I think he was involved in this incident, and it's not going to allow him to keep this position. I mean, well, actually, no, it would unless he was the wave around. But it looks like Joey Cruz may end up being your race leader here. So we'll see how this thing plays out. This could get very interesting, as it looks like Joey Cruz did not
32.
pit since lap 32. So this would be a little bit of a sketchy restart here with some older tires.
Obviously knows that he probably needs to manage them tires. If he got tires on accident, so he's going to be out there on newer tires. And I think the 08 is the 089. Is he going to get a wave around? I think he's going to get a wave around.
I'm wondering what the case is here.
I don't know what's going on here.
Looks
the
like
89 and the 8 up against the wall, letting everybody go by, so they're gonna fall back because the 28 stayed out.
Yeah,
they didn't get their wave around because the 28 stayed out.
That makes sense. Yeah, we may need to delay this one if possible, just to.
It looks like it's not falling in.
So we are good to go as we see the last one here coming up to the line. So we are gonna get this thing back underway, and it's gonna be under control by the 028 of Joey Cruz. Heads into the Geico restart zone. We are back racing here at the Rock, and you see a little bit of a slip, and already 3 wide as Tommy Ryan goes to the inside. Doesn't want to waste any time with chain theory to the outside. How about 4 wide? Munsell shoots the gap, and it pays off, but we've got 4 wide on the back somehow. It looks like everybody just about saved it on that one. Clayton Montgomery, the only one sliding sideways. That was the slowest kind of wreck I think I've ever seen. There was about 16 wrecks in one, but really only 1. So let's take a look at that one again. I mean, that was pretty hectic there, and that's what happens when you have a driver out there on kind of 30-lap old tires. But you see right there, 4 wide, and might even been a little net that actually started that thing to get Clayton Montgomery. Gets a little tap from his teammate there, Shane Therian, into the outside wall, tries to save it, but then a little bit of a bounce off the wall again. That's what sends him down the track. But somehow, I mean, all of that mess right there and 1 car is involved, Jimmy. Does that make sense at all?
It was a mess. That's all I could see. I just seen it going on now. The 28 actually coming in. Obviously, probably going to take fast pair of tires. I mean, he was a sitting duck, obviously he tried to get on it, and just tires just spun, and that kind of choked everybody up, and evasive maneuvers happened, and that's where they kind of went 3 wide. But talk about Munsell shoot the gap. Wow.
Yeah, let's take a look at that green flag here once again, and keep our eyes here on the 98s on this restart while we got some time, and show you exactly what he did. And you know what, while we're at it, we'll just jump on board and see what action that he's seen right in front. There's the 28 right there. Gets a little bit loose, and then looking for a gap, and a little gap. Shoots it, crosses his fingers, somehow makes it to the backstretch with nobody on the outside of him, and nobody on the inside, because he got a good run and ends up grabbing a quick lead right there. What a move by Justin Munsell. We'll see if that ends up being a big turning point for him for the rest of this race. Because, Jimmy, I mean, I know we're directly right back under another caution, but these laps are starting to tick away here. I mean, we're down to about, 37 laps left in this race, so it's starting to tick away here, and we're going to get another restart. I have seen quite a bit here, and I don't really blame them, but the leaders taking the outside for these restarts, as Munsell going to take the outside here, and I think this is a good move, because For some reason, the inside coming off of turn number 4 there on Rockingham, it gets a little bit, even though you're just about on the flat, it's not really coming out of turn number 4. You're pretty much in the tri-oval there, but it's just a little sketchy, and you've seen that certainly from Cruz on that restart. But we'll get this thing back going here. It is Munsell, Ryan, Elwood, Scioli, Phillips for your top 5, then Skozen, Van Westen. Good bounce back from him as he was involved in the first incident of the night here, but now up into the top 10. Garcia, Stoneman, and Jeff Ryan for the top 10 as Munsell leads them out of turn 4.
Yeah, and then you go back to the rest of the field there. You got 11, David Hendricks, Taylor Bowman up in 12th, Chalmers on 13th, Von Stafford, Clinton Montgomery all the way back there. After that incident, Joey Cruz, Robert Kinney, Shane Thurian, Joseph Sullivan, Matt Cropper, Blake Erickson, Jimmy Gainey, Luz Abuna, Kevin Foster, John Crane, Don O'Beer. Pretty much 40. I think he's parked there for the night, sitting back here 27th. So 27. Oh, the 61's going to go sideways at the wall. He's still on it. No, he's sideways.
And man, Barney is stingy with the cautions here tonight, as that one's not going to be a caution either.
Are you serious?
Spun down the track. I mean, I don't get it, but back here to the leader here is Justin Munsell. Tries to scamper away. Scioli moves himself into second. Highest he's been up here so far tonight.
This is
Elwood in third. Skozen in fourth as Ryan dropping back here a little bit. Not sure if it's the lack of tires or maybe he's just trying to save here a little bit. But he is dropping, well, like a rock.
Well,
as we got another one. That's Van Westen getting a little bit sideways through turn 1, but he does save it. Gonna fall back in line. Looks like you're in 12th behind Clayton Montgomery, but to the high side, Bramble looks to get around.
I'm not quite sure what's up with Tommy. Following back quite a few spots here. Like you said, he might be saving.
He also, I think, only took 2 tires. Everybody around him took 4, so that's certainly going to help.
Taylor Bowman. Yeah, Taylor Bowman come up on Tommy now, so Tommy going to the high side. Definitely could do this. Clayton Montgomery doesn't want to get back up to the front. He's going to go underneath the 095 with Taylor Bowman.
Robert Kenny and Joey Cruz get into there a little bit as Cruz got some new tires on that 028 now, and certainly I'm sure is handling a lot better than that previous restart. But out front, Justin Munsell leads the way. James Scioli in second. Alan Elwood, Tyler Skozen, JP Phillips for your top 5. Well, we got a chance. Want to thank everyone out there for tuning in. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything in Sierra has to offer. It's definitely been getting wild lately here, Barry, and it's been a pretty good one here tonight. And love the support out there, and certainly if you've got a favorite driver out there, make sure you let us know who you're rooting for. We'll try and get them some TV time here, let you know where they're running out there in the field. I want to also thank our series sponsor here for tonight, and that is Elwood Designs, as they have been making custom liveries for the iRacing community since 2012, specializing in the NASCAR class of vehicles. They can offer designs on various other options within the service. If you're looking to make your own livery but don't have the time to make your own base design, you can purchase Elwood Design bases at simratmarket.com, and you can check out Elwood Designs online on Facebook or X. We are coming down to the end of it here. It's getting towards the late stages of this race as we are down under 30 laps to go this time by. It's going to be 28 to go already, and it just takes a few little scampers here of some green flag running, and this thing can really stretch out pretty quickly. But I mean, a nice size lead right now as Munsell trying to run away. I mean, he's got some heavy hitters obviously right behind him with Scioli and Elwood, but Munsell has shown that he has pace. He's got the pace to get some wins here in the series, and he just needs luck to fall his way. And it looked like he was going to be driving his way to a victory at Coda early on in the season. Just didn't have the tires at the right time, right at the end, as Montgomery ended up getting the win there. But maybe another rough track right here at Rockingham could do it for the 98, but he's got Scioli, Elwood, Skozen, and Phillips for the rest of the top 5. Stoneman up into 6th place right now. Garcia, Hendricks, Montgomery, and Van Westen holding down at the top 10.
We're just watching JP Phillips move back forward again. So he got in the battle there with the 55. Tyler Skosen and made his way around on the outside. Obviously, still liking that kind of upper groove. Just playing with fate, I guess. I don't know how they do it sometimes, Carl. The nerve to run up against the virtual wall is it's got to be strong.
Well, you know, it's a nerve of, you know, putting in a qualifying lap better than you know, your co-commentator, you know, just like I did here tonight. That's why I'm still out there. You know, I'm in the top 30. I don't know about you, Jimmy, running back there.
You get in the car while you're broadcasting and drive a lap.
Drive one lap, yeah. I mean, we can go on board with me real quick. I mean, it doesn't matter what you do. It's not going to be a caution here tonight. As Barney just keeping that yellow flag tucked away here. As we see plenty that could have been cautioned, and this race really could have been you know, closer to a caution fest than what we have. I think all in all, it's been nice that it's been as green as it has here tonight.
Well, I think it's been pretty dang good. I mean, I know how bumpy this track was, and I know it has its challenges. Obviously, with how bumpy it is, you can see him coming off the corners, the car jumping a little bit. I think netcode played in, you know, some of the incidents. Just a rugged track out here. And, down to the inside, somebody's going out in the pits. Who's that?
It's like Dalton Drummond's heads into pit lane.
Yeah.
And John Nomier also, actually, Nomier has been in pit lane for quite some time now.
He's got me, ball.
That would be so 44 coming down here tonight, but I mean, we are we're coming up on about 20 laps to go here very soon, and still got 18 cars on the lead lap. Shane Therian's the last one on the lead lap right now. He was in the pits for quite some time getting repairs done, and maybe that 9 just not fully repaired here, as he's very close to being a lap down here. Trying to just hang on as much as possible, but you see right here the 98 of Justin Munsell closing in fast, and I know that it's not often that the 09 of Shane Therian doesn't factor into the race, let alone gets involved in all these incidents here, and to the point where he's going to be a lap down. But as is the case here tonight at Rockingham, as the leaders close in, but side by side in front, this is not going to help out Munsell at all. He's going to navigate through traffic for the first time here tonight. It's a bit of a traffic jam at Rockingham. It's going to allow Scioli to really close in, and right there is the 70. Blood in the water, and here comes the 70 as the 98 having to deal with some heavy traffic here right now, and Jeff Ryan in the 34 in front. He's going to slap the track here a little bit, going to let the leaders go by. Munsell gets by, Scioli gets by. Looks like the 5 of Elwood held them just a little bit more here, but it is very tight here at the front now, as you can cover the first 3 drivers by half a second.
Let's save.
JP Phillips with a good save there once again.
Wow.
We're going to keep this thing going in fourth. Try and run these drivers down again, as I was just about to say. It was about to be a 4-car battle here at the front. You see Skosen right there in 5th as well. I mean, the top 5 still only separated by about 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, that was a close one there. I mean, they ain't calling cautions. I mean, we're drifting around here tonight, going sideways. I think cars helping each other from going around there on that one, but it's definitely a close one there. Almost another caution here. We're only a few laps here remaining. We're on lap 95 of 110, so we do have 16 laps remaining.
Yeah, this time by it'll be 15 to go. Right now, Munsell still holding the spot. Can Scioli find a way around and make it in there for his second win on the season? Or is Munsell going to grab the win here tonight at the Rock? Or will they get into a bit of a battle here, get into a little skirmish? And will Alan Elwood grab win number 5? JP Phillips not too far behind. He's only about 1.8 seconds back from the leader here. He's looking to try and get his first win on the season after just recently joining the series last week. Tyler Skosen up there in 5th. Would love to get himself a win as well, but Munsell has got control of the front right now. It's not going to be easy. We've seen all night you can close in on a driver, but you got to try and figure out where they're going to go and how you're going to try and make that pass. And you've seen that as soon as Scioli got close there, Munsell went to the top line, tried to secure that he wasn't going to roll around the outside of him. Got the good run, force him to the bottom. You see he goes to the top again. He's going to make Scioli run down on the bottom and use up those tires a little bit, but we got some more lap traffic coming up here pretty quickly. Luis Arduna, the first one that they're going to come across right here, and then I got a bit of a gap, and maybe they won't see another one for a while, but that was a big check up there from the 98, and Scioli briefly gets alongside of him, and now going to try and send on the inside, just almost got a nose in there. But Munsell does a good job keeping that thing pinned down to the white line. He is going to stay in the lead for the time being. But again, blood is in the water, and the Sharks are coming behind that Munsell right now. We're coming up on 10 laps to go, but right now it is still 12. Scioli dives down to the bottom. Good run into the corner for the 70, but you see the run off the corner, off the top side from Munsell. Going to clear the 70 once again.
Yeah, that outside is really strong, obviously. We've seen, work to a lot of these drivers' advantage. And I think when they get out there, if they make a mistake, that inside car, it gets the advantage because they'll already have to let their car rotate. So when they're getting into it, and that car on the outside loses that momentum that keeps them out there, definitely will take the advantage away. So. But the 78 is working hard there on Munsell here in the late stages as we cross over the 100 lap completed barrier. But it's Munsell, Scioli, Elwood, Phillips, Skozen, Garcia, Stoneman, Hendricks, Montgomery, and Van Westen for your top 10. Bramble, Kenny, Cruz, Sullivan, Bowman, Tommy Ryan, Shane Therian, Erickson, Jeff Bryan, Kevin Foster, Matt Crockett, Lou Sabina, Jeremy Gainey, John Crane, Dalen Drummond, Boss Stafford, Dan Phelps, John Oberger, Joe Thomas, and the broadcasters.
Well, hold up, bro. I mean, I haven't had an incident all race, Jimmy. I don't know about you, where I think we're doing pretty good here for the Rock. Well, we're coming down here towards the end. It's 8 laps. Exactly. 8 laps to go here. Munsell still holding off Scioli. We got some battles a little bit further in the back as well. Back half of the top 10.
Somebody just missed the pit wall.
And right on cue, Bramble and Van Westen get together, but some more good saves there. Van Westen saves it, and so does Bramble heading onto the backstretch. Did not see who it looks like Drummond's back into the pits. So not sure if that's who it was, but we'll head you back out here towards the front to try and watch the end of this thing and watch the battle for this win, as it's still Munsell holding down the fort at the front. 6 laps to go here at the line. Dan Phelps keeps that 85 down towards the bottom. Doesn't want to factor into this at all. 6 laps to go at the Rock. Munsell trying to get that W.
He's trying. He's got to work for it. As his laps are about gone. Only 6 laps remaining here. So working on lap 105. So definitely a battle to the end. But I think Munsell has learned a little bit from maybe being passed on that high side. Learn how to run it. I mean, and that's what happens here, Carl. With these drivers being so good. If they get passed really easy by somebody, and they're like, hey, hold on a second, and they're able to pick that right up and learn something new about the Rock, and that might have been the key here to Justin Munsell's. If he didn't know the line already up there, but he's doing a heck of a job keeping things going.
So Munsell, 2 top 5s on the season out of his 9 races run. So what that means is tonight and next week only gets him 11 for the regular season. So a win is not going to lock him in, but he came in here tonight just above that cut line, as he was 5 points ahead of Jack Stoneman above that cut line. This is certainly going to help him out. He was 3 points behind Joe Sullivan and 10 points behind Tyler Skozen. So really going to have to try and point his way in to get some more lap traffic right in front of him. Jeff Ryan is going to be lapped here heading into turn number 1. 3 laps to go as Ryan gets into the wall here a little bit. Scioli closes in a little bit more. Scioli couldn't just quite, drift up out of the corner like he probably wanted to, so you're going to lose a little bit of time. Goes down to the bottom again, tries to use the apron to kind of hook that car around there. Gets a nose to the inside, but that outside line off of 4, working for Munsell, 2 to go.
Just has to keep hitting his lines like as much as you want to try to take that other line away. Just hold your line and keep driving as best as you can. Hopefully your tires hold out and the 70's unable to get the run that he needs to make the pass. It's really kind of a chess game this match.
Just match at this point? Yeah, I got you. I got you. White flag is in the air. Scioli tries to use the chrome bumper a little bit into 1. Gets the Munsell a little bit loose, but not enough. Which lane will the drivers choose? Into 3 and 4. Munsell dives down to the bottom to block the inside line, and that is going to be the winning move. How about the winning move that he went 4 wide to take the lead? Munsell, your winner here at the Rock.
Wow, 98 getting that W here and at the Rock, and I think that 4 wide just shoot to the front definitely was the move. Obviously, that was a gamble, but it worked here tonight for Justin Munsell as they finish this thing out here. Justin Munsell, James Scioli. Looks like Alan Elwood, J.P. Phillips, Tyler Scosa, Nico Garcias, Jack Stoneman, Davey Hendricks, Clayton Montgomery, Tyler Bramble for your top 10. And then Josh Van Westen, Robert Kenny, Joey Cruz, Tater Bowman, Joseph Sullivan, Tommy Ryan, Shane Therian, Blake Erickson, Jeff Ryan, Matt Crockett, Kevin Foster, Luis Orduna, Jeremy Gainey, John Crane, Dalen Drummond, Bronson Stafford, Dan Phelps, John O'Leary, and Joseph Thomas.
What a race here, and what a finish for Justin Munsell, finally cracking through and getting himself a win here on the season. And I mean, you got to take a look back and really on the restart here on lap number 70, way back here, 40 laps to go. This was your winning move of the race. We'll take a look at it here one more time. The 028 of Cruz was on some older tires, gets close to Shane Therian. They go 3 wide in a corner, but 3 wide's not enough for Justin Munsell. He wants to go 4, sends it to the inside, easy as you like, and that move right there turned into a win for Justin Munsell. Heck of a drive here, and really got to give it to all these drivers out here. I know we could have had some more cautions had Barney been awake at the wheel at the in the flag stand there, but all in all, I think it was a pretty good race here for the Rock, and it turned out pretty nicely for all these drivers. But we'll go ahead and step aside for a second, get these drivers up here for their well-deserved interviews. This was a heck of a run, heck of a finish, and I'm sure Munsell's probably still trying to catch his breath out there, and we are as well. I want to thank everyone out there for tuning in. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe to get you in touch with everything this Searing has to offer. But we'll go ahead and wait and get these top 3 in here for their interviews, and we'll see if we can get J.P. Phillips in here as well, as he got a well-deserved top 5 here once again. But in the meantime, looks like we at least got our top 3 here tonight. So let's. You
know what happened, Carl? I think iRacing forgot to pay the officials tonight.
Maybe that's what I mean. We said there were some screwy things going on. Well, that's apparently it right there. But we'll go ahead and start off with our 3rd place finisher here tonight, and that's going to be the 5 of Alan Elwood. And Alan, heck of a race out here tonight. I mean, this is the Rock here. It is not exactly easy. I mean, this track feels like it was just built on rocks at some point. I mean, it's so rough and bumpy out here. The bumps can send you any which way one lap compared to the next. I mean, what was it like just maneuvering around this track here tonight?
You know, I'll be brutally honest. That was my least. I had the least amount of enjoyment running that race of any race I've ever ran in Core. That was just. I don't have the words to describe how awful that was.
How do you really
and
feel?
my entire team will agree. It was so bad. I mean, I don't want to make it sound like it's just the worst thing in the world, but man, dirty air plays a really big role with this track for some reason. As small as it is, it's very weird, but I tried everything that I could to try to save my tires, and I mean, just being behind James there trying to save, it actually chewed up my right front, and I had nothing left. So I don't know how that happened. But the incident of me coming off of 4 when I was just getting past Bronson, the car jumped so bad that as soon as it landed, I could not steer anymore, and it just set me into the wall. It was the most bizarre thing. So that kind of summarized the night. I felt like I kind of learned something from the first run to the second run, where the first run I just tried saving too much, and you can't make it back with how much the tires wear. So I tried being super aggressive on the second run, and I felt like it paid off. I had the lead, and I should have just ran that the third run to get out front and get that clean air, and I think I'd have been better off. But I tried to do the save game again on that third run, and it kind of backfired on me. But ultimately, it's just, I think everybody kind of has the same sentiment. That was pretty brutal.
Well, I mean, is it? I guess it's good that the iRacing demons are coming out now, and not when we get to the playoffs. I mean, obviously, you said what happened to you tonight. Last week we seen what happened to you at Bristol with the kind of just the random engine blow from whether it was the engine running too hot, or I mean, it looked like you brushed the wall a little bit and the engine blew. Either way, you don't see that often. The engine's blowing on these cars. So the iRacing demons maybe catching up to you a little bit, but I guess it's better now than in the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll take it now. Yeah, last week was a really weird deal. Had that incident of somebody, cutting across my nose, and I got some damage. And I think that was most of it. But then just the few times I hardly scraped the wall trying to run the high side there at Bristol, it eventually just blew. I had no idea my temperatures were that high. So that was on me for not paying attention and kind of screwing up some teammate nights. But yeah, just the last couple of weeks have been strange to say the least. But I think once we get into the thick of the end of the regular season here, get into the playoffs, I think we'll get back into the tracks that I'm good with and good at, and I know I have a good chance of success.
Well, you had a good result here regardless. I mean, this track is just, it's not easy at all to kind of just pick a line and run it. And there's 2 lines that you can run, kind of the middle line and that bottom line, but either way, you're going to find some bumps along the way, quite literally. So good job finishing up here on the podium. Get yourself another good run here tonight. Head to Talladega next week. I mean, is there any kind of expectations? Is it just throwing caution in the wind and trying to get your 5th win before the playoffs, or are you just going to take what it gives you?
Oh, my full expectation is AJ Roderick's going to win next week. So give him win number 3. And then we'll move on to whatever's after that. But no, nice. Talladega is fun. I think it's graphically got an update, so it looks more modern and really fun to lap around there in the pack. So I'm looking forward to that. It's really wide, so we can get really racy. And if I recall, last time we were at Talladega, we had a hell of a finish. I think we were like 6 wide. So maybe we'll duplicate that.
Well, I guess for AJ, it all depends on if there's green flag pit stops or not to see if he's going to factor in or not. But,
right.
But either way, congrats on the finish here tonight. Who do you going to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Just first off, EDE, I think we had a good job tonight. James was that close to a win, so but hats off to Munsell getting the win there. He played the cards right and had a really good run tonight, so he fully deserved that. Everybody, EDE, Simrat Market, Rider Racing Development, VRS, everybody on board the team. You guys up here in the booth tonight putting on the show for everybody watching at home, and yeah, everybody here. Tonight was tough, but you know what? You'll have those nights, so we'll just move on to the next one.
All right, buddy. Well, congrats again on the top 3. We'll let you go celebrate, and we'll see you next week at Talladega.
Thanks, guys.
That's your 3rd place finisher here, the 5 of Alan Elwood. 2nd place, Jimmy, is going to be another Jimmy. It's James Scioli in at the number 70.
Hey, James, it's Jimmy and Carl in the booth. You copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Hey, you find yourself back in the booth here tonight, but back in P number 2, just couldn't quite make it around that number 98 here tonight. So you had a good finish. Obviously, it was seemed like a very rocky and rough ride out there. Give us a rundown on how your run was.
Yeah, felt pretty good. Setup was pretty tight, so that last run there, just kind of let Munsell get out in front. Was just trying to manage my right front, just trying to get as much clean air as possible. Even sitting 8/10 back, I'm still getting some of it, but not as much as I would right on his bumper. So just kind of let him run away a little bit, and then hope that I could get him back. And fortunately for me, kind of unfortunately for him, the lap cars just put me right on his back bumper with a decent amount of laps to go, and gave me a shot earlier that I thought I was going to have. He was a little bit tighter than me, kind of pushing up off the corner, so I knew I had a decent shot. I thought I was a little bit better than him. Just once I got close to him and in that dirty air, I just couldn't quite find a way to make the move. So couldn't ever get the top working in 1 and 2, and then I know he was working the top in 3 and 4, so I was just kind of trying to get clean air and just staying committed to the bottom line there, and just trying to get as much clean air as possible and do what I could. Obviously didn't want to wreck him. Gave him a little tap into 1 and 2. Nothing too crazy. Munsell and I have raced each other for quite a few years now, and he's super clean. We've had great battles, never really had any run-ins, so obviously not just gonna send anybody, and especially not Munsell. So I'm just trying to have a good clean finish. Was just hoping that I could maybe get him up off the bottom, get him a little bit tight out of 2, and then get to his inside in 3 and 4 and have a shot. But overall, pretty happy with how the race went.
It's amazing how those moves can work, and how others, somebody unexperienced would just go straight to the wall. But yeah, great running up front, and it was a great finish. You did come in second place as we head off towards the end of the season, obviously with some super speedways in there. But want to say congratulations on the finish here tonight, and P number 2, and give you some time for any shouts on that number 70.
Yeah, first shout out to you guys capturing these races, letting us do this. We really appreciate it. What you guys do doesn't go unnoticed. Same for the admin team, taking some time out of their week to help us out, keep us clean. Honestly, pretty clean race for how this track can go sometimes. So super happy, especially to have that super long green flag run to the end. So shout out to everybody for that. And then shout out Elwood Designs Esports. I know Alan finished 3rd. Nico got 6th, I believe. So I think Davey and Clayton were in the top 10 too. So quite a few of us up there. And then shout out to VRS, Roderick Racing Development, Simrat Market for being on the car. Had to run the throwback again this week. Couldn't get trading paints working, but luckily Elwood cooked us up a good paint scheme. And hopefully we're talking to you guys again soon.
Yeah, it was a great finish, and thanks for the shout outs. We'll let you go celebrate with friends and family.
Thanks, guys.
Second place finisher here tonight, the 7 of James Scioli. Winner here tonight is going to be the 98 of Justin Munsell. And Justin, it's been a long time coming. It looked like you finally had a win in the bag at COTA, and you had some other races along the way that you seem to have speed. You seem to have a chance at getting the win. But finally, the cards fall into place here tonight. We'll get to your battle with Scioli all the way down to the end there. But first off, we got to talk about the winning move of the race back on the restart of lap 70. Do you remember what happened? Is it just all a blur at this point? Do you remember going 4 wide, shooting the gap, and getting yourself to the lead? I mean, did you just black out during that time? I mean, just tell us what happened.
Believe it or not, my goal was to just take it easy and kind of let the cards play out. I think if I remember correctly, the leader did not pit, and then the 2 after that pit, but with no tires. So knowing that, I said, as long as I'm ahead of Scioli or whoever else was on new tires, that was all that mattered to me. However, they all got jumbled up in front of me, and I figured if I stay where I'm at, I'm probably getting shuffled with these guys, if not. So there was that little tiny gap. And if I remember correctly, it was the 66 that was on the bottom line. It was Tommy.
Yep.
And I've raced with Tommy before, and I know that he can hold a line. So I figured, well, if I don't go now, I'm never going to go. So I knew I had the tires, just drove through, and wouldn't you know it, made it. Rarely ever does that work out, but it worked. And I'm pretty sure I had quite a bit of space to do so. But yeah, I mean, a little bit of a blur, but just happy to make that move.
Yeah, I mean, it's not often that a move 40 laps to go is what wins you the race here, but it absolutely did. So we'll jump right forward now to the end of the race there. How much were you looking ahead? How much were you mirror driving? It looked like you kind of made a conscious decision to start running that top line through 3 and 4, and Scioli was able to get down alongside you and able to get even up to your door going through the corner, but that run off of turn 4 was just money for you.
hmm Yeah, early in that run, I had developed about I would say, 6/10 or 8/10 of a second lead over the two of Skyly and Elwood. And at that spot, I would just try to mitigate and try to save tire. I didn't want to get any farther than that. I figured if I just maintain this gap now, I would be in a better shot later in the run. However, I'm sure as you guys saw, I ran into quite a bit of lap traffic, and it wasn't the easiest to maneuver around them, and I quickly lost that lead. So I knew I had to drive pretty much defensively for 20 laps with Skyly behind me, and he and I have run so many laps together. Usually he's the one that ends up in front, but I know that he wouldn't send me and I wouldn't send him. It would all be all fair. So basically my goal was to just drive defensively and save from, any kind of nudge in the corner or any kind of slide job into three. I was just trying to switch it up. I would drive on the high line, and then when he would think that I would do so, I would drive on the low line, just trying to mix it up so he couldn't counter me with a move. He's an elite iRacer, so I figured he had something lined up for me, and I just wanted to take that away.
Yeah, you got to your back bumper on the last lap there and give you just a little tap, and it might have been just everything that he had. I mean, he had to just do everything just to get to your back bumper on that last lap, but you were able to hold him off, get your first win on the season. Now, because of the attendance, you're going to fall one shy for the win and lock in, but certainly going to help your chances here with the win, getting some good points here, and a very rough to get into Gold Division playoffs here. I mean, what do you think your outlook is? You only got one more race to hold off the rest of these drivers here to get yourself in that top five.
I mean, Dega is always a crapshoot, right? I've always performed well there. Whatever that really means. It's the finishes that are always tough, whatever league that is I'm a part of. So yeah, I mean, it's a crapshoot. I was hoping to come in tonight with a good run. I was happy to get in last week by the skin of my teeth, even though I was 7 laps down, to get those valuable points. So I put myself in the best position is the best I can say. I know once I get to the playoffs, I have my schedule clear. I should be able to run all the races. So I really want to get involved. So I don't know. We'll let the race play out next week, and I'll kind of gauge whether I want to stay up at the front or try to mitigate losses, but we're trying to go playoff racing.
I know it sucks that it took so long for you to finally get your first win here on the season on race number 14, but either way, it's got to feel good to kind of be maybe peaking at the right time and get that win heading into the playoffs, and hopefully you stay above that cut line and you can use those 5 bonus points once you get into the playoffs as well. So congrats on a well-deserved victory here tonight, and a rough track here. I mean, we certainly seen our cars bouncing all over the place. We see Netcode coming into play, but you didn't care. You shot the gap, got yourself to the lead, whether you wanted to or not, and you get yourself the win here. So congrats on the win. Who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Just a normal. Thank you guys for taking the time to produce this broadcast and curate this league. I know it's real tough and a lot of hours for you guys, so I do appreciate that, and I hope others do as well. I want to thank the guys that I race with, whether that's Bronson Stafford, Shane Terrian, Robert Kenny. Really, that's pretty much it, guys. I appreciate you guys.
All right, buddy. Well, congrats again on finally getting your first win of the season. We'll see if you can get back to victory lane next week at Talladega.
Rock on. Have a good night.
Winner here tonight, the 98 of Justin Munsell. We got one more interview we're going to get to before we get out of here, and it's going to be a well-deserved interview for our 4th place finisher here tonight, the 20 of JP Phillips, and certainly the man with all the saves here tonight.
Yeah, I think I hit everything but the pace car.
Well, welcome back to the booth, JP. It's been a little while since we got to talk to you up here, and obviously you started off things right, getting up to the front, getting some lap sled, and having some some difficult times out there a little bit here and there, saving the car, bouncing all over the track. This track just seems to rock people's world, I guess, if you want to call it that. And but you did one heck of a job, and you were able to kind of go back and forth through the field just a little bit and get yourself a pretty decent finish with your I guess start here with the core series. But we're definitely not familiar with that number 20 car out there.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, great to be back with the best broadcast team on iRacing. So glad to hear from you guys. But yeah, great run. Thought I had it figured out to start the race with, man, that high line. I was able to run up there and keep the tires on it. And after the pit stop, it just, I don't know if the track heated up, rubbered up or whatever, but it just didn't run the same up there, and it got really hard on the right front, and I just wore the right front really way too much the second run. I was doing much better the last run, and we got in a gaggle of lap cars there, and I made a poor decision. Made an assumption where one was going to go, and just by the time I got there, the hole was closed, and that just got us too far behind that we couldn't challenge for the top three.
Yeah, I mean, obviously new to the, I guess, the field. I guess obviously not here at CRN, but used to seeing your car up there and battling. So some new drivers to be around. So I'm sure just a matter of time before you're fighting with the those top three as you were tonight. Obviously, you got Tommy and Jeff up back in the field to join you as well. So it's good to see some familiar faces out there, or I should say familiar cars, because I haven't met anybody in person, but definitely great to see you out there. Wanted to say congratulations on the great run. Welcome to Core, and give you some time for any shout outs that you might have on that number 20 in their car, JP.
No, I appreciate it. Glad to be here. Glad to be racing with these guys. Big shout out to Tommy and Jeff, especially Jeff, because Jeff's the one that I got into there in that mix up with the lap cars. So really hated to see that, but appreciate those guys. We run a lot. We was actually just at the Rockingham race this past weekend together. So nice. Good to hang out there as well. So just fun to be here, man.
All right. Well, I appreciate the shout outs again. Welcome to Core, and congratulations on the run. And we'll see you next week at Talladega, hopefully.
Thank you. Yep.
That is your fourth place finisher here tonight, the 20 of JP Phillips. That is going to do it for our broadcast here tonight. This was race number 14. We got one more race left, and it's a big one, quite literally. It is Talladega Super Speedway next week, and that is going to determine our last spots in the playoffs. We'll get you a little bit of a dive deep before we get into the race next week to let you know who's still in the mix, who's still got a chance to get in there, and who is already locked in for this season. This has been a fun one here so far, all the way through the season, but especially here tonight. This was a good run all the way to the end, and a great win for the 98 of Justin Munsell. But for myself and Jimmy here in the CRN booth at the Rockingham Speedway, we'll see you at the track.
Peace.